Okay, so there are basically three types of ways you can operate your business. First is sole proprietorship. Basically, that means you are the only owner of the business. This is the most common and popular type of business startup. The second is a partnership, which includes two or more individuals as owners/operators. There are different kinds of partnerships, and you should research which one might be right for you. Third is a corporation. Often small businesses start as a sole proprietorship or partnership and evolve into corporations. The benefit of this legal structure is that it can protect the individual, and there are some tax benefits as well. So how do you decide which to register? Well, let me give you an overview of the positives and negatives of each. A sole proprietorship is good because it is easier and more affordable to file taxes. The owner also has total control. The bad thing is that you are personally responsible for debts or any liabilities from the business. Liability is a legal term that basically means responsible for something by law. Usually if the term liable comes into play, it's not a good thing. A partnership is similar to a sole proprietor, but can be a risky business decision. You might be good at working well with people, but in a business partnership, you may need to share all of the decision making, and that can be really tough. Also, if your business partner doesn't share an equal workload, or if there is an issue that comes up, you may be equally responsible in law even if you didn't have anything to do with it. Not cool. A benefit is that there are at least two of you to share skills, ideas, and energy. Alright, so private corporations are good because if something happens, you as an individual person may not be legally liable or responsible for it. It also makes more sense to become incorporated once you get bigger, and often you are able to save on taxes. The paperwork is greater, but your accountant will help you decide when the time is right. Now, as far as where you will need to go to register, here in BC, we use a resource called Small Business BC. But whatever province you are in, just Google Register Business and put in your province name. Then you can get more information, and there are always people to help you. Okay, let's go to our panel and find out what they recommend. So we've just been talking about whether to set up a business as a sole proprietor, a partnership, or an incorporation. Can you tell us which you've registered and why?
I've registered as a sole proprietor, and advice from my accountant. It helps with liability and taxes, so that's the way that I went.
And then for myself, we're incorporated. Right from the beginning, it was very important because we are a bricks and mortar. I have staff, I have clientele coming in. There was a lot of money involved. So with incorporation, you have you lose your personal liability. Now, I think like back in the 80s, they probably had it like very like one or the other, and people had all these numbered incorporations, and so our manufacturers have kind of caught on. So I did have to sign like personal liability waivers for the first few years of the business until it got on its feet. But now, like my incorporated, it's like its own entity now, you know? So if somebody was to come into the salon and have like a fall and break their leg or something, then they can't come over after me personally or my family. It's the company is its own situation. And so it just made a lot more sense for that purpose, and with staff and staffing, and also just from a tax standpoint, we're dealing with a lot larger numbers as a business. So it's important at that level to also be incorporated.